And with the holidays likely to look different this year and many schools going back to remote learning, parents might be worried about how all this change is affecting our children. How can we find new ways to celebrate, and how can we help our kids cope? Dr. Rachel Bussman from the Child Mind Institute is here now with some advice. Dr. Rachel, thanks for being here. You know, we often hear that children are resilient. So how much should we worry about our kids right now?
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning. Kids are really resilient, and at the same time, they also struggle. So we really need to follow their lead in terms of what to talk with them about. So if they're expressing some concerns, we definitely want to follow up and find out what those are.
And more school districts now are moving back to remote learning. What kind of an effect does that have on kids? We've heard for so long to limit screen time. Now they have to learn and socialize on screens.
They really do. And this goes to kids' amazing ability to adapt and be flexible. And I really think that this is all about modeling coping and modeling resilience from caregivers, right? So if we set the expectation, this is different, this is hard, but you can do it, I think kids follow our leads. And yes, it requires flexibility around screens and just flexibility in general.
So does that mean, when you say modeling, does that mean us being calm, us encouraging them and letting them know that we believe that they've got this, a combination of both?
Yes, it's a combination of both. So as caregivers, we really want to model what we call non-anxious coping. Even if we don't feel calm, we want to send a message. I get this is hard, but we're going to get through it, because kids really look to us. They listen to what we say, but they really look at what we do. And so we want our actions and our words to be aligned.
And then you look at the holidays. That's normally where we kind of decompress. There might be other craziness going on, but we count on the holidays as this time of family and coming together, and you kind of forget about it all. And of course, this year, the holidays are going to be yet another thing that's different. So what can we do to make kids still enjoy this time and still feel safe?
A really good question. I think we want to start by making plans. So if we just avoid making plans to wait and see what information develops, it might somehow make the idea of what we end up doing as a consolation prize, right? So take the information you have now, make plans, and then you're giving value to the plans that you're making, even if they look different. And we also...
Go ahead.
We really also want to set expectations ahead of time. So if we do have plans that involve having two households come together, the adults should be clear about what to expect in terms of social distancing and mask wearing, just so everyone's clear in advance, and it really reduces uncertainty and anxiety.
Some children have already started expressing concerns about Santa Claus visiting. They know that other households aren't supposed to be in their house, so they're worried about that. Dr. Anthony Fauci said in an interview that Santa is exempt from social distancing because he has, quote, good innate immunity. What do you suggest parents tell kids who might be worried about Santa?
Spoken like a true scientist, right? And so I think I would come at it, obviously look at the age of your child, but I think we want to keep that spirit alive, and Christmas is magical, right? So I think we can safely say that Santa and the elves, you know, have that Christmas magic. And so we want to encourage kids not to worry, and that Santa and the elves are going to safely deliver toys all around the world. How do they get everywhere in one night? Magic. And same thing, it'll be that Christmas magic.
And I got a viewer question on Twitter that I wanted to relay to you, asking about what you do with an only child in this circumstance, because kids don't always open up to parents as easily as they might open up to another sibling. But if your child doesn't have a sibling to open up to, what can parents do in that scenario?
That's a really interesting question. So I think all kids are different, even only children, children with siblings. So I think all parents should just always keep the window open, so to speak, around communication. Sometimes kids don't want to have a lengthy dialogue. So just saying to your child, hey, this is hard. Is there anything you want to talk to me about? If they do want to talk, great, validate whatever they're experiencing. If they don't, say, okay, you might not want to talk about things now, or you might not have questions now, but when you do, I'm here for you. And then I think just knowing what your child is like. So some only children are super comfortable being independent and sort of playing on their own. They've learned to do that always. And same thing for kids with multiple siblings, but everyone's different. So parents just want to really watch their kids and always leave those lines of communication open.
Yeah, and some people need a little more prodding, even adults. Sometimes you ask once and you say, no, I'm fine, even though you're really not.
That's
And
right.
maybe if you ask one or two more times, that person opens up. So how do you strike that balance between maybe revisiting the topic every now and then, but without, burdening your kids or your partners, for that matter,
Or
with
your
these
partners,
constant
right?
questions, right?
It's a good question. So maybe instead of asking over and over, are you okay? Leading with, I noticed that, and just state what you observe. And that maybe gives a little bit more data rather than just saying, are you okay? Do you want to talk? So I noticed that you've been a little bit more cranky. And give some suggestions. Or I noticed that you've been spending a lot more time in your room, and this is why that concerns me. What can we do together outside of your room? Is a little different than just, are you okay? Do you want to talk?
All right, Dr. Rachel Bussman, we appreciate your time today. Thank you. It's one of those topics on the minds of so many parents. So thanks for coming on.
For sure. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you and your family.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.